Hey everybody, this is One More Thing. I am Jesse Dollemore. I just got done watching the State of the Union, what will hopefully be Donald Trump's last address to Congress and the nation in this type of forum. And I'm going to give fuller comments and breakdown and analysis, if you will, on my podcast, I Doubt It with Dollemore. But there's one element to this that I really wanted to talk about, and immediately after the speech, I listened to the tepid and, I don't want to say not exciting, but really, we could have done better in the Democratic response. I listened to that, and then I tried to let the rage subside. And it didn't. So I took to the internet, as I do often, and I started downloading clips of Rush Limbaugh. First of all, this State of the Union was remarkable in the amount of bootlicking that Republicans did on Donald Trump. The uproarious cheering and clapping for their traitor, a man who has betrayed his oath of office. And they're treating this beyond a normal State of the Union address. Shocking. Donald Trump snuck it in that he awarded Rush Limbaugh the Presidential Medal of Freedom in the middle of the speech. It was reported that he was going to award Rush Limbaugh the award, but he did it in the middle of the speech, and Rush Limbaugh's feigning excitement or shock that he even was going to be awarded it terribly. But I want to talk about, I guess I'll talk about what the Presidential Medal of Freedom is after I play the clip. I'm going to play the full clip of Rush Limbaugh receiving the award. It's about 3 minutes, slightly over 3 minutes. If you've seen it or you don't want to look at his stupid face, just skip ahead. But after that, I'm going to get into what a vile, repugnant racist he is, and also discuss what the Presidential Medal of Freedom is. So here's Rush Pumpkinhead Limbaugh getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom in the middle of the State of the Union address.
Here tonight is a special man, beloved by millions of Americans, who just received a stage 4 advanced cancer diagnosis. This is not good news, but what is good news is that he is the greatest fighter and winner that you will ever meet. Rush Limbaugh, thank you for your decades of tireless devotion to our country. And Rush, in recognition of all that you have done for our nation, the millions of people a day that you speak to and that you inspire, and all of the incredible work that you have done for charity, I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I will now ask the First Lady of the United States to present you with the honor, please. Rush and Catherine, congratulations. Thank you, Catherine.
So again, he's acting all shocked. Like, what? Me? Oh, my Lord. I'm so shocked at this. When it was widely reported today that it was likely going to happen. Now, I don't think the American people, maybe people in the know, knew that it was going to be done during the State of the Union. But that was a shock. But that's not what he was acting shocked about. Stupid. The other thing is just the reality show nature of this. Like I said, I'm going to get into more detail about the pandering that Donald Trump did, clearly as an effort to expand his base that he's ignored for 3 years. But let's talk about what the Presidential Medal of Freedom is. John Kennedy signed Executive Order 11085, which reinstated, there used to be a thing called the Medal of Freedom, then they reinstated it and named it the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And in the description, in the executive order, they talk about the award of the medal. And subsection A says, the medal may be awarded by the president as provided in this order to any person who has made an especially meritorious contribution to 1, the security or national interests of the United States, or 2, world peace, or 3, cultural or other significant public or private endeavors. Now, obviously, Donald Trump, as President of the United States, gag just saying that. Obviously, Donald Trump has the right as president to award to whomever he decides. But I don't think this meets the criteria for that. Any person who has made an especially meritorious contribution. Is that Rush Limbaugh? Are his contributions meritorious to the United States or the interest of the United States? He is a vile racist. It's undeniable. It's inarguable that he is a racist. So when I took to YouTube, as I said I was going to do, or I did, I downloaded many things. And it did not take me long because there is so much to draw from. And these are only the clips that I was able to grab. But here is a little smattering of the very not racist, very worthy of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Rush Limbaugh.
So, nigga with an A on the end. Well, I think I can now. Isn't that the point? Because it's not racist. That's the point. I could be talking about a male. I could be a Chinese male, a guy at the laundromat. I could be talking about a man. A little history lesson for you. If any race of people should not have guilt about slavery, it's Caucasians. The white race has probably had fewer slaves and for a briefer period of time than any other in the history of the world. No other race has ever fought a war for the purpose of ending slavery, which we did. Nearly 600,000 people killed in the Civil War. It's preposterous that Caucasians are blamed for slavery when they've done more to end it than any other race.
Let me put it to you this way. The NFL all too often looks like a game between the Bloods and the Crips without any weapons.
What kind of class is that? That is zero class. Meanwhile, Al Sharpton goes out the front door. Yes, I spoke a little Negro dialect there. I can do that when I want to. Al Sharpton goes out and in the front door. In and out the front door.
You put your kids on a school bus, you expect safety, but in Obama's America, the white kids now get beat up with the black kids cheering, yeah, right on, right on, right on.
That sounds like a hate crime that Trayvon Martin starts pummeling Zimmerman.
George Steinbrenner has passed away at age 80. That cracker made a lot of African-American millionaires.
Folks, there's actually a debate going on ESPN and throughout the sports world over who can use the N-word, when and how, and who can't. when and how.
It is these wackos, from Bill Ayers to Jeremiah Wright to other anti-American, Afrocentric, black liberation theologists, working with Acorn, and Barack Obama is smack dab in the middle of it. They have been training young black kids to hate this country. And they trained their parents before that to hate this country.
Presidential Medal of Freedom are the things that you just heard, would they embody an especially meritorious contribution to the United States or the interest of the people of the United States? Maybe for Donald Trump, when, there were very good people on both sides. The Nazis, yeah, good people over there. Maybe for Donald Trump, but I dare say not for the rest of the country. Some of the vile things, his use of the N-word, that white people shouldn't feel guilty about slavery. Now listen, that's a charged word, guilty. But in it, packed in there, is him saying that we should actually be celebrated, white people, for ending slavery, completely ignoring the hundreds of years of rape and murder and torture and enslavement. It's sickening. His Al Sharpton impression. It doesn't stop there, though. Obviously, having a black president for 8 years sent Rush Limbaugh into a tizzy. Here are just a sampling of Rush Limbaugh talking about Obama.
First president in history, to my knowledge anyway, who actually wants his nation to fail. Obama wants to create an illegal alien Bill of Rights. We're now governed by people who do not like the country. Who is Obama? Why is he doing this? Why? He wouldn't have been voted president if he weren't black.
How many people really think of Obama as black? He's not from the hood. He's not from the movement.
They have discovered that Obama does have slave blood. Slave blood.
Yeah. Especially meritorious contributions. The latest recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Disgusting. That almost half that house cheered and whooped and hollered in celebration of their overlord and savior, Donald Trump. Rush Limbaugh is a hateful individual. Here's another clip. Watch this clip, him talking about foreigners and immigrants.
Everybody's making immigration proposals these days. Let me add mine to the mix. Call it the Limbaugh laws. First, you immigrate to our country, you have to speak the native language. You have to be a professional or an investor. No unskilled workers allowed. Also, there'll be no special bilingual programs in the schools with the Limbaugh laws, no special ballots for elections, no government business will be conducted in your language. Foreigners will not have the right to vote or hold political office. If you're in our country, you cannot be a burden to taxpayers. You are not entitled to welfare or food stamps or other government goodies. You can come if you invest here, an amount equal to 40,000 times a daily minimum wage. If not, stay home. But if you want to buy land, it'll be restricted. No waterfront, for instance, and as a foreigner, you have to relinquish individual rights to the property. And another thing, you don't have the right to protest. You're allowed no demonstrations, no foreign flag waving, no political organizing, no bad-mouthing our president or his policies. You're a foreigner. Shut your mouth or get out. And if you come here illegally, you're going to jail.
If you don't like it, shut your mouths and get out. Listen, if I'm going to be taking anybody's word on how we should treat immigrants, whether it's Rush Limbaugh or, let's say the poem at the base of the Statue of Liberty, it's going to be bring me your poor, your tired, your huddled masses, not shut your mouth and get out. Vile, disgusting, reprehensible, and now a Donald Trump recipient because of his especially meritorious contributions of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Listen, I absolutely believe that we should strive to be better than the haters like Donald Trump and MAGA Americans, MAGA hat wearers, racists. So I'm not going to celebrate. I don't believe we should celebrate that Rush Limbaugh has cancer. I believe that is not good, terrible. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Not even in a sideways way. We should not do that. But I also, on the same side of the same coin, believe that Rush Limbaugh's views and his statements and the things that he's made hundreds of millions of dollars over the years saying shouldn't also be brushed under the rug. Listen to him here talking about the Indians and how he believes that he wants his reparations because of all of the hundreds of thousands and millions of people who have died of cancer because of the Indians, American Indians, native peoples here, their invention of tobacco.
How many Native Americans, how many Indians were killed by the arrival of the white man through disease and war? And how many people have died since the white man arrived here due to lung cancer, thanks to the Indian invented custom of smoking tobacco? Who are the real killers here? Where are our reparations?
Yeah. So we should not celebrate his cancer. He is a human being, and I believe he does deserve dignity, even the dignity that he does not show to others. Speaking of not showing others dignity, here is a clip of Rush Limbaugh, the provider of especially meritorious contributions to the interest and the people of the United States and recipient of the latest Presidential Medal of Freedom, discussing Michael J. Fox, who is suffering from Parkinson's, calling him a faker, intimating that he is a liar on his radio show.
In this commercial, he is exaggerating the effects of the disease. He is moving all around and shaking, and it's purely an act. This is the only time I have ever seen Michael J. Fox portray any of the symptoms of the disease he had. He can control himself enough to stay in the frame of the picture, and he can control himself enough to keep his eyes right on the lens, the teleprompter. But his head and shoulders are moving all over the place. So this is really shameless, folks. This is really shameless of Michael J. Fox. Either he didn't take his medication or he's acting.
What do you do? What do you do with something like that? Listen, it didn't take me long. And there are hundreds of other things that are vile, disrespectful, unacceptable that he has done and said. And he stands there in the gallery of the United States House of Representatives and is awarded the highest civilian honor that could be given. It tells you everything you need to know about who Donald Trump is, about the things that are prized in Trump's Republican Party, and by his supporters, and by his followers. I am going to leave it there. And I'll see you next time.